We're back again here Saturday, JDB Sports, Peyton and Alex today. How y'all doing today? Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching.
As always,
So,
get into some recap, baby.
Yes, sir. I'll put the highlights up on here like usual. Put this on. So, I want to hit the last Saturday games. We have Bengals versus Broncos. We kind of got to watch that a little bit before we got shut down. Yeah, the purple app. Anyways, 30-24 win for Bengals. It was back and forth. This game was something to remember. Both quarterbacks having similar days through the air. The exception of Joe Burrow being asked to throw 49 times with 3 touchdowns apiece and Knicks having an interception. Joe Burrow was basically, zero in the interception column. In the fourth quarter, the two teams would trade touchdowns and giveaways throughout the whole last period. When it came down to overtime, though, Cincy's defense tightened up for sure and forced 2 punts in overtime. Well, yeah, 2 punts in overtime. While Cincy missed the field goal, they would come back and later avenge that with a touchdown pass from Joe Burrow to T. Higgins, 3 yards to win it with 1:10 in overtime. What are your thoughts on that game, my dude?
Woo! Just a thriller. I mean, a bunch of opportunities for the Broncos to clinch there and beat the team that's kind of rivaling them for that spot. You save yourselves with a tiebreaker. You save yourselves with a win in general. But yeah, T. Higgins, what a damn day. I mean, 131 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's kind of been the number one at times when Ja'Marr Chase has faced tougher corners and everything. Ja'Marr Chase is obvious at the better year, chasing that triple crown.
Mr. Gay Guy, thanks for joining in.
Shout out Mr. Gay Guy.
And Jay Thompson. Hello.
As far as, the Broncos go, having Pat Surtain on Ja'Marr Chase, they really just funneled it all to T. Higgins, and amazing day for them. Bengals need some luck tonight, as well as going into tomorrow with the Dolphins and the Broncos needing to lose to get in. So
I just want to say, I want to come back to what you were saying about T. Higgins and Chase. I said they both sets of receivers on either side ate against each defense. T. Higgins and Ja'Marr Chase combining for 233, 3 touchdowns. While Denver side, Marvin Mims and Cortland Sutton went for 158 and 3 touchdowns combined. That's not the one person, but just what do you think about their defenses going forward? Do you think Cincy can hold it together? Do you think Denver can hold it together with them eating the way they're eating? Or you just think it's just generational talent from, those top receivers right there? What you thinking?
I do think it's at least generational talent in the form of Ja'Marr Chase. I thought since his college days, he's been an alpha wide receiver one through and through.
Okay.
As far as the defense going into tonight's game, I honestly think it's going to be a weird AFC North game shootout where the Bengals are just trying to push the ball downfield, and I honestly think with the season on the line, their defense isn't going to tighten up, but Joe Burrow's going to do what he's done all year and carry them to a win on the brink of elimination.
Oh, yeah, we like that. Well, AFC North slate today, 2 games, 2 Saturday games. The one's going to be at 4:30 and one's later on tonight. But other than that, let's get into this last week of recap because we had some pretty decent games, some clinchers, some duds. We can get into Rams-Cardinals real quick. I mean, it was kind of ugly. It was a 13-9 win for the Rams. The Rams eked out a narrow victory over the Cardinals, finishing with that score. Oh, shoot. Lost my camera.
Technical difficulties.
No, you go ahead and take that. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to fix this, all right?
No worries. Yeah, Kyler played a solid game. They really couldn't finish drives. 3 drives inside the 25-yard line result in field goals. Just not something good. And then the last drive to win the game, trying to throw to Trey McBride, but Ahkello Witherspoon breaks it up and makes an interception. Just this is the type of ball you want to be playing as the Rams going into the playoffs defensively. Offensively, I wish there was more out of players like Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford should be putting up more points against this Cardinals team that struggled on defense all year. But tough divisional matchup. They clinch on Saturday night, and now they start Jimmy Garoppolo this weekend against the Seahawks. So congrats to them. They, ever since getting Puka and Kupp back, ever since that offense has been better, they look like a real threat in the NFC in my eyes. And then kind of want to glance over some duds here just because not much to talk about while Alex fixes his camera still. Some really lopsided. No, all good. All good. As far as the Bills go, they swamped the Jets. Aaron Rodgers gets benched in the fourth quarter for Tyrod Taylor. Just a horrible beatdown in general. I haven't seen Aaron Rodgers go out that sad and ever. And just Josh Allen not having to do too much against this team. I believe they brought in Mitch Trubisky later in the game as well to kind of just put this game on ice. And you see a really similar style again with another game, Cowboys-Eagles, one that was controlled basically from the jump. From the Eagles standpoint, Saquon topped 2,000 yards. You got the Cowboys looking bad as usual. Cooper Rush showing why he's a backup and everything with his limitations going downfield. Quite nice days for Saquon again, mentioning that 2,000 though, 167 yards onto Smith. Amazing. So definitely some done there. As far as the couple other games that were some swamp fest, I mean, Baker Mayfield slaughtered the Panthers 48-14. Didn't see much promise out of Bryce Young in this one. Honestly, against a bad Buccaneers secondary, I wish to see a little more in the passing game, and overall, just using Adam Thielen as a safety blanket isn't going to work long term.
All right, so what did you end up going over? Just to refresh me, my dude, so we can get on.
So I went over Bills Jets dud game,
right.
Cowboys dud game, Panthers Bucks dud game.
All right, so then we can go ahead and head into. Let's go ahead and head into Raiders Saints. I mean,
go ahead and head into Raiders Saints. How you feeling about that game, Alex?
Surprising, really, that the Raiders actually came out. The Saints started, strong with a 30-yard touchdown pass to former Raider Foster Moreau. Raiders responded with a triple record day from Brock Bowers, who set NFL rookie tight end receiving yards record in the first half, the rookie receptions record in the third, and the franchise single-season receptions record in the fourth. What a freaking dude, man! If I didn't pick Jaden Daniels then to be rookie of the year, then
it would be Brock.
It would definitely be Brock for sure. I mean, if I didn't really like Jaden Daniels like that, but that's my quarterback right there. That's my guy.
This is Buddy. But yeah, Brock Bowers, coming out of college, he looked this good, and he's just living up to all the hype. I mean, being the 12th pick or close to that, I forget exactly what pick Brock Bowers was. I think is 12th or 13th to the Raiders. But I mean, living up to the hype. You see it in all phases, and he's doing it with subpar quarterback play. Aiden O'Connell, Desmond Ridder, Gardner Minshew all year, and still historic.
Go ahead and like up the live, guys. Follow us too. We post every Saturday. We're going to keep going through playoffs and the Super Bowl. And then every week after that, we'll give breaking news and stuff like that on Saturdays. We'll give what teams are doing, best thing going forward. Just want to let y'all know that we're going to be here and be here for a while. So with that, you already did Panthers Bucks, I believe, right? That would be a dud. 40-14 W for the Bucks. Cowboys Eagles. Other than Kenny Pickett, his controller dying or whatever, and throwing it down at the ground, and fumbling that ball. There's not really much to say about it. I'm surprised they're sitting Saquon this week. I mean, injuries and stuff can take their tolls for sure, but you got to look at it with a certain right. He deserves that record, man.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, as well, they're not playing for anything. They are locked in as a 2 seed at this point. So there's really, I would be focusing on the playoffs as well. And it looks like this Eagles team with Jalen Hurts healthy is really dangerous. I believe they have a real shot. And, you know,
Yeah, no, for
even
sure.
year was historic. I think you have to sit him. I think you do.
Okay, and you already went over Dolphins Browns, that 20-3 win for the Dolphins. Ends
Oh, I
up, I
did.
guess. You didn't go over that one, so DTR led the Browns this week, but he struggled again. 170 yards and 2 turnovers. Can't say you can't expect it. I don't know what the point of starting DTR over Jameis is. I mean, what are you trying to accomplish there? Really?
Yeah.
In starting DTR over Jameis.
Yeah. Even if you mention Jameis having a little bit of a shoulder injury, you know, DTR is not an NFL level quarterback. He hasn't been since UCLA. You constantly see on tape, he's a pretty good runner. He can get out of structure and make some plays with his legs. But as far as throwing, man, it is a rough collection of tape on him. He doesn't know how to access the middle of the field. His deep balls are wobbly on the boundaries. He has a super small frame. So he's going to get hit a lot. And just
Yeah,
an ugly.
Oh,
How do you feel about
how do I feel about who? Say it again.
Snoop Huntley, Tyler Huntley, Dolphins?
I'm glad I took him. Remember I told you that was last week's pick 'em. I think I picked Dolphins over Browns, and you said you trust in Snoop, and I said yes, sir. Trust in him.
You trust? Ooh.
Yeah, well, it seems fruitful that bet hit on that one. So, not really much to say about the Browns really, but the Dolphins defense held strong, limited the Browns with just 281 yards and forcing multiple turnovers.
Yeah.
Despite the solid performance, so let me just say this one more, then I'll let you hop right back in. Despite that solid performance, the Browns couldn't overcome their offensive struggles, so the Dolphins secured that win.
Yeah.
Does this really affect both teams going forward? Really? Not really.
It does.
Say it again.
It does the Dolphins. Dolphins, they win tomorrow against the Jets, and you know the Broncos lose somehow, and they're in.
That's actually a pretty straight path. I mean, you think the Broncos lose? I mean, the Chiefs are resting their starters, aren't they?
Yeah, it's going to be Carson Wentz and crew.
You think Carson Wentz? I think Carson Wentz takes it. I think Carson Wentz holds it down.
I just think without a lot of their defensive pieces as well on that side of the ball, the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Kind of just looking back to a couple more of these games real quickly before we progress too far into next week's.
Yeah, for sure.
Looking at Giants pulling one out at home, first home win of the year. Let's talk about it.
It only took to the end of the damn season. Oh man, the Giants have been terrible at home this year. Let me find that up here. I think I had that on one of my top games of the week.
Pretty fun watch.
Oh hell yeah! All right, got you right here. The Giants jumped out to an early lead, 21-6 by the middle of the second quarter. It's crazy. You don't think the Giants will jump out to a lead like that? The Colts struggled defensively in the first half. What is Saquon Barkley back on the Giants? Slappy tackling and coverage breakdowns allowed the Giants to score on their first three drives, man. First 3 touchdowns. Despite a strong third quarter performance by the Colts, the Giants managed to extend their lead to keep it going. Malik Neighbors broke free for a 59-yard touchdown, I believe, and Drew Lock locking down the doo-doo cheeks of the NFC East basement. Anyways, Drew Lock ran in for a 35-yard game to set up another score. Giants offense was able to convert on third down majority of the day, including a 35-yard game by Wan'Dale Robinson. and Locke's goal line scramble for a touchdown. Colts special teams also had a tough game with a missed field goal and a kickoff return touchdown by the Giants. Oh, man. Walking right through it, Jonathan Taylor, 136 yards and 2 tutties versus the Colts. And Alec Pierce caught 6 passes for 122 yards and a tutty. Michael Pittman Jr., 9 catches for 109 yards. See, these players just ate, man, I'm telling you.
It's a lot of lack of defense, and Giants snap a 10-game franchise record losing streak.
Jesus.
Yeah, just with the Colts playoff hopes on the line and everything, they faltered with Joe Flacco at quarterback. Had I thought it was going to be different with Anthony Richardson? No, not entirely. I support him a little more than Flacco, but I think that game is just based on the defensive performance the Colts put on. That was horrid.
Flacco needs to return to the couch because him in the league is not it anymore. Anyways, the Colts are officially eliminated from playoff contention with that loss. You know, despite having the worst record in the league for the Giants, entering the game, they still managed to secure the victory. I'm surprised more than anybody. You think Dable kept his job by beating this team? I don't know personally. I want him. I'd rather have him out. I mean, the Giants just need to rebuild from top to bottom, especially if they go and select the quarterback in the draft next year. Then what happens if they falter and Mara loses patience and Dable gets fired? Then what? Is it going to be another Caleb Williams in freaking Chicago, where now he's going on to a second head coach, second OC, in his second year of his career? Excuse me, guys. I'm kind of getting over a cold. Been a real rough week actually, but you know,
Alex is sick. He always stays sick with it, so you know him. The camera situation is a little bit of a problem today, but guess what? We gonna keep it rolling, baby. We gonna keep it rolling.
Yeah, for sure. I will just say here, Stan Marsh on TikTok, man. You the MVP. Keep watching. Appreciate y'all watching. Everybody else, join in, watch up, like, follow, subscribe on all our channels. You know, YT, the Purple App. We're there too. And the green one too, the green K. You already know what that is.
But, hey, Stan, let's here.
Yes, sir.
Let's get this day.
All right. We hit Jaguars Titans already, I believe. I think you said that already.
I didn't go over that one too much. Not much to talk about there. Besides Brian Thomas Jr. just having another phenomenal week. And yeah, him being snubbed out of the Pro Bowl was one of the craziest NFL things I've seen all year, because he's well deserving of a spot. And to put Jerry Jeudy over him, in my opinion, is kind of disrespectful.
What y'all thinking about the dude? I have to leave that game for a second, because I gotta talk about the one game that matters the most for me. It matters the most from my team and for the NFC West Championship Rams. One for the NFC West Champion Rams. All right, Commanders Falcons. That exciting overtime win, man. I was on the edge of my seat all night. I was getting mad at the team. I was happy with it. First half defense was horrible for the Commanders. Bijan Robinson went off and scored 2 touchdowns. We were literally saved because Michael Penix can't throw. He wasn't accurate on the night. And second half, I believe we tried to shut down the middle of the field where he likes to throw, so force him to throw more to the outside, excuse me, him being more of a lefty, it's kind of hard to kind of stretch your arm across your body to hit that, out route on the right side. So, all I got to say is it's crazy. The fact that Riley Patterson was a former Commander. We cut him, I think, in preseason. And he went and did us a solid by missing that 55-yard field goal, man. Hats off to you, and I appreciate it. But we literally didn't even let the freaking Falcons get the ball in overtime. Marched right down the field. They couldn't stop Jaden Daniels. I think he had 127 yards on the ground. This is just off the top of my head, I believe. 127 yards on the ground. Decent amount of scrambling for the young guy. Most of it was off scripted plays. I mean, there was a couple quarterback design runs in there, but it was mainly off script. We like our quarterbacks off script to see what they can actually do. But Jaden's definitely the guy in Washington. I love to, you love to hear it. We've been suffering for almost 10 years now without a quarterback. So I wouldn't say 10 years, but Alex Smith was probably the last notable one. I think we got 6-2 in 2018. Then he went down with that historic leg injury, like Joe Theismann did back in 1985. Yep. So, anyways,
came back.
Just gotta say, Atlanta's. I think in the third quarter we had the ball for 13 minutes. 13 minutes. We did not let them have that ball back.
Yeah, no, you guys were running the ball effectively in the third quarter, and I think that's what ultimately changed the pace of the game. Because from the jump, you guys weren't running the ball well, and then Jaden, of course, making plays out of structure. He struggled with a little bit more pressure in the first half, but you saw him adjust to it in the second half, and I mean, he's been one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in crunch time this year. So all credit to him, and in beating a desperate Falcons team at home. It was a needed game, and this is what playoff teams do.
Yes, sir. So if we beat the Cowboys this week, I believe, or I think if Green Bay loses or the Cowboys, or we beat the Cowboys, we lock up that 6th seed. I guess.
Yes.
I think we play Rams, right? We would play Rams, right? Or however that may shake out.
Let me see real quickly. I believe you guys can move up to 5, if I'm not mistaken. Unless I am mistaken. Oh, no. Because whoever the loser of the AFC North would be the 5. My apologies. But
apology accepted.
If the Buccaneers win and the Rams lose this weekend, then the Commanders would most likely face the Buccaneers rather than the Rams, which it's currently set up as. How would you feel about either opponent, and who would you prefer?
Buccaneers, gave us Buccaneers gave us our butt on a platter in week 1. So, then the Rams can really score with the best of me. It depends on the defense, really, depending on how they do. I mean, I know it sounds like a really stupid, surface level blonde woman take, but let me just tell you, the Rams can score 40 points, but they can also only score 9 or 6. It depends on how the defense plays. Honestly, I'd want a Rams team in SoFi because Commanders fans will flock to SoFi. Being warm in California, who wouldn't want to be at that playoff game being a Washington fan?
I get you. I just think it's going to be a packed Rams house.
You think so? You think it's going to be straight Rams? I mean, yeah, it is their house, but I've heard a lot of people saying, there's a lot of fans out there on the West Coast. I was one of them before I moved back here, Jersey, but me going to a playoff game, I would love to. I think the last one I went to was 2012 against the Seahawks. RG3 tearing his ACL, saw that in live real time.
Heck no.
And then came right back home, went to sleep, went to school the next morning. Surprisingly, only 3 or 4 hours of sleep, went right back to school. So
got to see history, but in the worst way possible. So
yeah, and then now we were irrelevant for another 12 years. For another 12 years.
I mean, everything's came cool.
Oh yeah.
Kind of want to touch on this final Sunday game, this Monday game, and then we'll hop right into this week's games, what we're looking forward to, and then maybe go over some Pro Bowl selections.
Jaden's initial first pro, man.
Yeah.
First rookie quarterback, I think, right?
To be a Pro Bowl?
No, to be a number 1. I believe. I think Jaden's the first rookie to be a number 1.
Oh heck yeah! I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was watching that on Rio Robinson's. Shout out to him on YouTube, by the way, on YT. Not saying to go watch him, but he's putting out the facts. He has everything Commanders. If y'all like Commanders, if you like anybody else, and he's not the channel for you. That's a Commanders boy right there. But we do a little bit of everything here, even though I have my biases and Peyton's got his too. He's more smart and analytical in terms of putting that bias aside to actually spit some facts here. I like to spit with emotion, unfortunately. And that's probably a bad thing to do when you're trying to do a sports podcast, but hey, here we are. Let's touch on that game, man. What you
Packers,
what you got?
Viking. Oh, I got Sam Darnold. I mean, he has the most game-winning drives in the league this year, sitting at 5. And again, they're all against teams with winning records. So just an amazing performance again Sunday by Sam, and really just elevating this Vikings team, seeing things, haven't seen with Kirk and however long, and really strolling to 8-1 at home, 14-2 overall, and squared away to have game of the year this upcoming week against the Lions. I don't see it stopping.
Shout out to Kirk Cousins on the bench.
How do you feel about the Packers almost coming back in this game in the 4th?
Honestly, it's to be expected, really, man. A divisional game, it's usually back and forth. They're usually close. It doesn't matter what your record is, and the fact that they're hip and hip, really.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised, really, and I'm surprised Jordan Love really struggled initially, but he managed to rally that team back. Like you said, almost coming back.
Yeah,
almost. He didn't. He almost did. Man, that really helped us out because going into Sunday Night Football, we were hoping for Minnesota to win so we can move up, and they helped us out. Thanks, Kevin O'Connell. I know you're a true Washington Redskin or a Washington Commander. I'll call him a Redskin because he was back in 2013, I believe. You're a true Redskin for that. Thanks, man. Thanks for getting us back.
And then moving along to one more offensive powerhouse of the week, because it seems like no defense was played. This might be the most points scored all year in totality, now looking at it. But Lions 49ers, offensive onslaught for both teams. Again, Brock Purdy having his best performance of the season against a beat-up Lions defense. I think they're on for over 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then this Lions team who was able to deconstruct every bit and piece of the Niners defense all day, specifically in the second half.
I mean, you ever expect the new defense to be played on the Lions side? They're still injured, aren't they?
Yeah, they're still super injured, and I don't really expect it on the Niners side either. They've struggled all year, lack of personnel.
Yeah, they're 6-10 for a reason.
Yeah, but shout out Ricky Pearsall. Rookie wide receiver, 141 yards, touchdown, kind of flew under the radar for everyone but the Niners. Drafted him a little premature. But
Sticky Ricky. There you go, man. Man got some sticker on his hands, my dude. Standout game for Jahmyr Gibbs. Go ahead, Sonic and Camera, whatever. Oh well. 117 yards and a 30-yard touchdown run in the 4th quarter. Hell yeah. We love to see it. I mean, I think I was watching Chisel Adonis. I was watching his live of the game. Like, he was basically doing a commentary breakdown. Obviously, he wasn't doing what we did last week and messed up. He actually didn't have the game showing on stream. I mean, that man's got enough copyright violations as it is. But anyways, we'll go back to I was watching his live stream, and we're chomping at the bit in the game. I sent a super chat for the first time and talked to him a little bit about certain Super Bowl matchups, and he thinks the KC, and he thinks Kansas City for sure, but I think he said the Bills were a surprise team that he wouldn't be surprised. And it's kind of hard to say on the NFC side, and I think he said mainly Lions though. Lions or Minnesota. It's gonna be an NFC North team, is what he said. And I kind of agree with that. I mean, I'd like to say the Commanders can sneak by, but we're not there yet. We're not up with the 14-2 big dogs. But if we do get there, I will be happy about it. I just want to be happy. I just want to win a playoff game. That'd be great for us. If we can win a playoff game in Jaden's first year, hopefully Cliff Kingsbury does not go to the freaking stink butt doo doo Chicago Bears. We don't need to see him over there. I'm about to say Chargers. Yeah. My bad. You guys are good.
Yeah.
You guys are good this year. You guys are good this year. Ain't no worries. He's like, man, this freaking guy always talking about my team.
But alrighty. Well, moving along. to this upcoming week's games. We don't got to go over all of them, just some kind of playoff.
I only have like 3 to really watch, really.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons have to hope that the Saints with Jake Haener come out and beat the Buccaneers to have even a shot of making the playoffs. I don't really see that happening.
No.
A unique one, kind of touched on earlier, Broncos Chiefs. The Chiefs, they're without Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, all defensive studs, and then you're without Mahomes, Kelsey, and a lot of your linemen, actually. So I just believe this is going to be not necessarily a struggle for the Chiefs, because I do believe in Andy Reid as a play caller, but I just think Broncos backs against the wall at home, where they've had success all year. I believe they have success again and make it in.
Carson Wentz scores 5 touchdowns, man. Write it down now.
Book it. Book it against one of the best defenses in the league. It don't matter.
Oh, man. But wouldn't they really be? Yeah, okay, all right. All right, my 3 are Commanders, Cowboys. Oh, why I say it like that? What's wrong with me? Anyways, starters, well, with Dan Quinn being aggressive and not pulling the Chiefs or an Eagles, we're actually going to play the starters in Dallas. Will we hold on to the 6th seed and beat the Cowboys? I really hope so. I mean, Dallas has been kind of like hit or miss at home this year, right? I mean, I know on the road they've been
They've been on the road. They've actually won 5 games on the road and 2 games at home.
So they've been pretty porous at home. Let's hope it doesn't get to 3 games at home.
I think they've had 3 losses of, I believe it's 14. It might be 20 or more at home this year, because they got swamped by the Ravens. They got swamped by the Saints at home, and then they got swamped by the Lions and the Eagles and the Texans. They've actually lost these games at home. Listen to these real quick, Alex. 44-19, 47, 34-6, 34-10.
Oh, so crazy is my FanDuel pick was under 44.5 for Commanders, and I'm taking the minus 6.5. So, with those trends, it looks like Dallas is in for a whooping, really a big whooping, a licking. And that under 44.5 probably won't stand. So I think I might change that pick. All right, so yeah, I was gonna say Commanders Cowboys. Stinker of the week is doo-doo butt of the week, I guess we can call that. Colts Jags, 2 teams not in playoff contention and porous defenses at times. Iffy to terrible quarterbacks. Still think Mac Jones is better than Drew Lock, though. Sorry, Giants fans, but
I don't know. Probably. I mean,
might be like right there, like real close. Like
they're both bottom of the barrel. You can pick and choose. Ravens off Bailey Zappi, by the way. Now they're leading 7-0 in this game, so looks like they're going to stroll. But yeah, I there's not much playoff implications again to talk about. We kind of already touched everything. The only thing is now seeding in the AFC.
Wait,
Chargers.
You have one more. Lions Vikings actually dictates who gets control of the North and the number 1 seed, though.
Oh, huge.
Yeah,
huge.
So that's my 3rd game. I know everybody else can be saying, "Oh, well, that's everyone's game." NFL Network's got that on lock. I don't care about NFL Network, man. I believe it's going to be a great game, and it's going to be, it's going to be down to the wire. I believe. I believe nobody blows out anyone, and I'm just going to say, as far as who controls the NFC North and number 1 seed at the end of the day, I'd like to say the Lions do.
Really? I'm going to have to flip. I pick Vikings. So, gentlemen's bet.
Gentlemen's bet? What are you trying to do on that one? Egg myself on screen next week or whatever? Let's do that.
Goodness.
Oh, man. I honestly would not be... I wouldn't have a problem with that. Get on stream, you have your girl do it. I'll have, TA hit me with an egg or whatever. We'll do it like that next week.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so if the Vikings win, Tia, my wife's got to crack an egg over my head in my chair on stream, and I gotta wear it for the rest of the stream, and vice versa.
Yep. Same with my girlfriend Alina. Bah.
All right.
Easy. Okay. Well, yeah. So again, huge playoff complication I missed out on. Good catch, Alex. But moving.
You just want to talk about the Chargers.
I do want to talk about the Chargers. I've been waiting. I've been plotting.
Go Chargers, go.
Yeah,
right,
go Chargers. They're gonna smoke the Raiders this weekend. They're gonna move up. Steelers lose tonight, and we're gonna sit. Steelers play the Bengals.
Okay, yeah, I can see it.
So that's a really good game. If the Steelers lose and we win, we get the 5 seed. We face the Texans in Houston.
That's going to be a cakewalk. You remember their last home playoff game, I believe? Wasn't it against the Chiefs? And they really got dogged on. Or that was a couple years ago. My bad. No, I think it was. I remember 32-0 as a score, and then I think the Texans started to come back a little bit, but it was too late.
Yeah, I remember that Texans game they played on the road against the Chiefs, where the Chiefs came down and they were down 24-0, and they scored like 28 unanswered.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
Or not 28 unanswered. They scored way more than that. I think it's like 42 unanswered. So
great Falcons did. You think great?
Yeah.
Wait, I got a question about Raheem Morris because I've been seeing this in a lot of the sports podcasts I've been watching throughout the week. Does he get fired? Is he a one and done or no?
No, I don't think that this is good enough. And I don't think the QB situation is good enough. So I think he has a pass in a way. Not a pass, but, this team is on the brink of a division title, albeit being in a weak NFC South. But
their timeout situation that really kind of hindered the Commanders game for them, that's on him, though.
100%.
They had the right to control their own destiny. Now they gotta hope for a lot. They gotta hope to win next week, and I believe what is it? They have to beat. They're playing the Buccaneers this week, right?
No, the Buccaneers play. Falcons play the Panthers. I think all games this week are divisional.
Yeah, so I think Panthers have to beat. Well, I think Panthers have to lose and Bucks have to lose for the Falcons to get in there, right?
Yep.
All right, so let's hope for it, I guess, if you're Raheem Morris and hope Michael Penix can actually throw some out routes, for God's sakes. That was tough to watch, man. Even being a Commanders fan. And the timeouts, man. The timeout situation, I don't really feel like it. Why don't you ask me later?
Yeah, that was insane, and I totally agree with you on the Michael Penix part. Him trying to set his feet and throw with his weird mechanics, something about it just screams uncomfortable at the NFL level. And I have a feeling, I have a feeling like out of structure and everything, he's not able to extend the play and make something great out of it. It kind of just looks like he's operating out of the pocket. And it's not very clean in the pocket when he's throwing. So,
yeah, he looks like. Okay, so I'm going to compare him to another left-handed quarterback in Michael Vick, but obviously two totally different levels of playing. One's way better than the other so far. One's just a rookie. Michael Vick doesn't, even watching his throw mechanics, he didn't look uncomfortable at all. He just, stood a different way, really, and slung the ball a different way. He'll think he can make every single throw. Penix just looks like a deer in the headlights, kind of sitting back in the pocket, really. Not saying he's scared, but it just doesn't look fluid. The motion, like obviously with a right-handed quarterback, you're going to see more fluid motion, more natural progressiveness, but it looks like he's trying to do it. He looks like me trying to throw a left-handed pass, me being right-handed. It just doesn't work. It doesn't look like it works too well.
Yeah. And again, he's a rookie, give him time and everything, see how he does pan out. You did spend the 8th overall pick after dropping a bag on Kirk, which was it was beyond confusing to me.
I feel like I feel like that's a owner and GM button heads type of thing. Sounds like a Dan Snyder move.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's not going to work out that way. So, and I kind of have the same games as you as far as like what to watch for this week. There's not too much to watch for, but again, seeding matters, and kind of just want to go over these Pro Bowl rosters real quick and get your thoughts.
All right, then we can hit some FanDuel picks, I guess, 'cause I got a couple.
Yep.
You mind if I throw my picks out there while you're pulling that up? Or you got it up already?
Throw your picks.
All right, so I'm thinking. So I kind of negated what we said because you said you hope the Bengals to win. I picked Pittsburgh money line, Browns under 41.5, and then Commanders minus 6.5, and I'm gonna do over 44.5, not under. My original pick was under, so I'm gonna do over now.
Okay. I respect all those picks. In Pittsburgh, a lot of people are on the Bengals, so I could definitely see that being a trap game, and everything. And Pittsburgh might show out with Pickens back. You never know. So I respect those picks. Heck yeah.
Oh, Austin Eckler's 21-day window is open, so we may have him back for the playoffs.
No, he's coming back next game. He's activated.
To Cowboys?
You hear me earlier? I was saying Austin Eckler's activated. Yeah, he's going to play.
It must have been when I was fiddling around with the freaking camera, but don't rush him back too much. I don't know. But
so up in the run game.
Hell yeah. That's what we need. Just when we need another person from to throw to or another person to run the damn ball. But let me get some breaking news before you throw into that. It's not much today because obviously being week 18, Jets interviewed Mike Vrabel for the head coaching job. I don't know how that really fares out. You see how a defensive-minded coach did for them last with Robert Saleh. I feel like they need to go get an offensive go-getter and just hire a great defensive coordinator. I feel like that's just how they should gel, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on that head coach?
I love Mike. Yeah. I think I wanted Mike Vrabel to be the Chargers head coach had Harbaugh not went there, just because Ben Johnson was staying. So Mike Vrabel, he did amazing with the Titans for years. He elevated that defense that didn't have a lot of stars on the perimeter, in all honesty.
Yeah, they ended Brady's New England career with a pick.
Yeah. And I mean, was there a little bit of offensive struggle? Yes, but that's due to more of the offensive coordinator. But again, he's great at elevating his guys. He's great at defensive scheme and everything like that. And he's a proven winner as a player and as a coach. And I really come to respect that. I think it would be a home run hire for the Jets if they're able to get a really good offensive coordinator to kind of get rid of that Todd Downing, Nathaniel Hackett situation they got going over there in New York.
Todd Downing, Brian Urlacher, Jeff Rich. Yeah, whatever, man. I can't talk, man. Anyways, Tua is unlikely to play versus the Jets. Obviously, Tyler Huntley, I think you broke that news earlier. Shane Steichen, confident despite another season without the playoffs. He thinks they're really close, maybe to the bottom of a garbage can. Nothing else. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Keep Jonathan Taylor at all costs, man. That's all you got to do. Get some pieces around him. Get a good quarterback. I mean, AR is good, but they got...
I think that they really need to invest in that defense. Again, this is a bottom 5 defense this year on the brink of the playoffs, and with the defense next year, I think they could challenge for the division if the Texans aren't going to get much better on that offensive line.
And then another one is Lattimore's out versus the Cowboys. Kind of knew that already. Kind of figured really just rest him for the playoffs if he can even come back. If not, it's a bust year for him in terms of the trade, but looking more towards the future. Hope we can get more out of him. Of course. Richardson won't play this week. Why?
He's crawling around with back injury.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really get too much. Yeah, I didn't really get too much on that link. I just saw it on there. Just he won't play this week. It was part of injury, so I was like, okay, that's what that is.
Mhm.
All right, get to this Pro Bowl roster, my dude, because that's all the breaking news that I got in my parlay picks. If you want to drop some of your picks and then do the Pro Bowl, be my guest.
Let's rock. So again, kind of goes along with the bet we had shaken on earlier, but I love the Vikings plus the 3. I just think that Detroit's defense is just too beat up. You saw Brock Purdy light him up last week. Had San Francisco had a better defensive performance, I think they would have won. Albeit Goff is really good against this Minnesota pressure. I think he can put some points on the board for sure. But I think when it comes down to it, Minnesota edges them out. No Diddy.
Hey.
Another game. Ayo is exactly right. I do think Washington comes out and smacks the Cowboys. -6.5 is a pretty line for that.
Sweet.
But I kind of want to go on a little alternate side, and I'm going to go over in that game.
Well, yeah, I did over. Remember, I did under.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then final game. Honestly, I kind of like the Seattle Rams game under the 38.5. It's a very low line to begin with, but again, Geno Smith with nothing on the line to play for anymore, and Jimmy Garoppolo starting for the Rams. I just don't think there's a lot of points scored in this one.
Okay.
And then Pro Bowl time. So as you mentioned earlier, yeah, Jaden Daniels, first selection. Again, amazing rookie quarterback, deserved it. Sam Darnold and Jared Goff also very deserving in the NFC. I don't think they messed up there. Do you?
No, not at all. But yes, there are penalties in the Pro Bowl. No, just kidding. Oh man, that line kills me every single time I watch it on YouTube. Anywhere really. But no, I don't think they messed up at all, really. I really don't.
You think Baker should have been in over any of those 3 guys, or you think the turnovers kept him out?
Me at least. That's really what he's known for, being a pastry chef, don't you think? My dude loves the turnovers. I'm looking up that roster to get that up on here as well.
No worries. Kind of just going over the quarterbacks as well. I mean, pretty flush. You have Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, clearly the 3 best AFC quarterbacks this year. Argue with the wall if you may. But as far as this year goes, again, Lamar and all 3 of these quarterbacks are worth an MVP vote at the end of the day, and again, very deserving.
Okay. So I'm seeing, obviously, Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, Sam Darnold. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think, which one of those is going to be in the Super Bowl, though? So they're going to need the alternate. Saquon Barkley. I mean, everybody's freaking cheering him for MVP. So, I mean, Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs. Love that pick. Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs has had an amazing year.
And then Kyle Juszczyk is just in by default, man. How many fullbacks are actually decent these days?
Yeah, but I mean, Kyle Juszczyk is a dog too, so yeah, I give credits deserved. And as far as the wide receivers go, your man Terry got in with some great Jay Jetta, CD, and Amon-Ra. And I don't really think they got too much wrong in terms of that.
I think AJ Brown should have gotten over CD Lamb, but that's just me.
I just think AJ missed too many games. And CD a good amount of games too, but CD did produce more. You know, when all the voting was going on, so I think that's fair. I don't think they really missed on the tight ends for either conference either. Maybe Jonnu, Travis Kelce. But George Kittle, Trey McBride, I think are the right choices from the NFC.
All right, and then you think Lane Johnson, Panay Sewell
Panay
and
Sewell, Wirfs.
Tristan. Yeah.
Super good picks. I think Landon Dick, Chris Lindstrom, Tyler Smith, great picks. And yeah, I don't really mind. There's no two. I mean, they did pretty good on Pro Bowl voting this year compared to years in the past. You know, I don't see any major snubs in my eyes besides Brian Thomas Jr. on the side at wide receiver. Maybe James Cook could have made it in the AFC as a running back, but yeah, Jerry Jeudy and Zay Flowers over Brian Thomas Jr. should be a crime in all 50 states.
Why do I only see NFC here? No, sorry. No, I want to see both.
Both. Yeah,
right.
It showed AFC only before, so funny enough. We got the mismatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who do you say we're really snubbed out that shouldn't be there? I shouldn't be here. I want to take a look at it.
So Brian Thomas Jr. should be in as a wide receiver in the AFC over either one of Zay Flowers or Jerry Jeudy. And then Travis Kelce, deserves a spot. However, I believe Jonnu Smith had the better year, more of an impact for his team on the Dolphins.
I agree. I think Jonnu Smith should have definitely have gotten Travis Kelce's spot. Nobody's taking Brock Bowers. Nobody's gonna take him down, so there's nothing to argue on that one.
He's the best tight end. He's the best tight end in the league, in my opinion. Yeah, insane to say as a rookie. But do you see anyone on here that, offense or defensive side of the ball that maybe you thought should have got in?
I'm still looking. Yeah, Benjamin St. Juice. No, I'm just kidding. That should be there should be a Pro Bowl, and there should be a Why You in the Pros Bowl. Benjamin St. Juice is starting cornerback over there. Actually, no, I think Michael Davis is worse, man. I think Michael Davis is worse.
He's so bad. Join the Michael Davis hate club. Why don't you, right?
Yeah. Former Charger, like you said. Yeah.
He was so bad. He had 1 year, and then he stands straight up when he's guarding people. It looks like he's playing basketball.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. We gotta figure something out. We're definitely have to draft some corners or trade or something. I mean, I know Mikey Sanders still. For him being a rookie, he's really, really impactful. He's really good, so I like him. I mean, he's gotten burned a couple times, but everyone gets burned at least once.
Yep. And rookie corners typically don't pan out right away. But he's been really good, especially in the slot. They've been using him. I wanted him to be a Charger. I wish we would have spent a second-round pick on him had we had another one that wasn't Ladd McConkey. But, I mean, Washington got a... Yeah. He's a Harbaugh boy.
No, let me see. I think Trust Way should have got him for punter. Trust Way is that man.
He's a solid punter, but leave the bias out for the punters.
All right, man. Look, man. Against him and against Trust Way, the first 6 weeks of the season, he barely had to punt. So I mean, barely being used.
Well, I mean, Jacksonville's punting all the time. Give him credit. Let Logan cook.
And Cavante Turpin deserves that for sure. Even though he's a Cowboy. And Jeremy Reeves I'm surprised Jeremy Reeves didn't get the special teamer because I like, he's always making plays. Him and Percy Butler, and I'm gonna say bias, yes, a little bit, but it seems like whenever we need a play from special teams, it's either Percy Butler or Jeremy Reeves up there making that hit, making that tackle, stopping them, doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, players vote for players to be in the Pro Bowl. You know, I'm not a player, so I'm not voting. You know, so probably all Commanders, maybe some Chargers, maybe some Giants, and no Eagles. I'm tired of them and their fan base. But look, all right, let me keep the bias aside a little bit. The Pro Bowl rosters are pretty good. I'm gonna take a look at their little snubs tab and see what they have over here. And Baker Mayfield, Danielle Hunter,
Danielle Hunter is a solid choice for sure.
Cooper DeJean. He's been talked about. Cooper DeJean. Every freaking week I hear everybody hyping up Cooper DeJean. Eagles podcasters or NFL Network really playing good. And everybody's gonna look at that big hit he did on Henry. So I mean, why not Cooper DeJean? Why not James Cook too? Or Kyrie Williams? He was balling out for the Rams this year.
I
Why
think
not?
Josh had a better year than Kyron, in my opinion. Just from what I've seen on tape, I believe Josh Jacobs is a tougher runner. I think he's better at things like outside zone. As far as pass catching, I would lean Kyron. And then the goal line thing is just about the same to me. It's just Packers like to throw the ball in goal-to-go situations a little bit more. So definitely super similar there, splitting hairs.
I'm trying to think linebacker. They didn't think about Bobby Wagner.
I Bobby Wagner's personally, but
You think Zach Bond is better than Bobby Wagner?
yeah, Zach Bonds had an outstanding year for the Eagles. He's
All
been
right.
such a dog. You're like, all right, Commander
All right.
Spies, no.
Yeah, I gotta stop. I know, especially doing an all NFL sports podcast. I mean, if this was a straight Commanders and Chargers clashing on the podcast, honestly, that would be pretty cool. It'd be a lot less to cover. It'd be a lot more in depth, and it'd be more targeted. Because I actually watched this podcast on YT. It was a Falcons podcast. You know, they were talking about the timeouts. I actually got on there and I talked to him a little bit too. Like I wasn't sending super chats, but I was talking to him. He didn't have that many viewers, so I was talking to him about Raheem Morris's timeout usage and all that nonsense. And his is pretty good. It's called I'm out of my Falcon mind. That's what it's called. You know, obviously, it's supposed to be fucking, but it's Falcon. But just to wrap
Zach
up on
Bond.
just to wrap up on the Pro Bowl, really, like you said, probably one of the better shaped rosters in recent memory. Not really much to say.
Yeah,
about
I
it.
don't think they snubbed them as bad as they do in years previously.
So
I gotta take the phone away from Zach Bond. He's gotten too much light. Bald,
bald my eyes.
bald. He's a dog, but he's bald.
Man, baldly Brian Dable. Freaking dude got to wear a beanie to freaking stop the light from shining. Man, that man got more light coming off his head than the Cowboys Stadium. Than the freaking sun going through the windows of the Cowboys Stadium.
Yup. But I mean that pretty much does it for what I have to say. Is there any closing statements you have, Alex?
No, I think we're good. Let's just hope for a good Week 18 of football, and I hope the playoffs shake out good as far as clinching scenarios for both of us, as far as moving up in seeds or keeping certain seeds instead of going down to 7. But for the Commanders, and I hope the Chargers get to move up. I hope everything goes right for our teams and for you fans watching. I hope your teams go right. You know, we love to see teams in the playoffs, especially teams that deserve to be there, not people that just stumble and limp their way into the playoffs. I'm looking at you, NFC South, and NFC West. Really looking at y'all too. But I mean, I think the Rams deserve it, really.
Yeah, they played solid. They played solid enough to be a playoff team. So give them the benefit of the doubt. But that wraps it up for us.
Yeah, JDB Sports. We'll see you guys next Saturday. Hope y'all have a good one and enjoy y'all week of football. And if y'all don't watch football, then why are you even here? Y'all have a good one.
Yep. Take
All
care.
right.